assalamu alaikum, good morning, khushamdi, ji ayanu, goeiemorgen.
Bekhair Agale, Ni Hao, Schöne Shumme, Washmale, Ohio Gonzaimes, Guten Morgen, Hola, Bonjour, Privyet, Kaifahal, Hala Shama Chatore, Ahlan Wasalan Marhaba, Buno, Mucho, Gracias, and a very amazing good morning to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and are watching World this morning. Alongside the very amazing, the very fabulous, the very talented Shahzad Khan, ladies
Knew
and
it,
gentlemen.
knew it.
And Shiza Hashmi. Hi Shiza, how are you today?
I am great, but I'm glad that you started your day by appreciating yourself.
Yeah, and I think that's great because half of the time, whenever, because by the beginning or, with the start, what happens is that, she says her hellos and highs,
Yeah.
and then I have to say my hellos and highs, and eventually, I'm the first one to ask her a question. So it has never ever on our show, Shiza's actually asked me, how was your day? So it is always after I've actually asked her the question. So it gets complicated. But other than that, Joe,
Okay.
so today you're going to be under the spotlight. How was your morning? Did you have your coffee?
I did. How was yours?
You see, it always comes back. My morning was great, and I was just so thankful of the fact that, the guests we have invited today, ladies and gentlemen, all three of them know each other, and I think,
Okay.
yeah, so one of them have been a regular on our show too as well, so I think it's going to be a roller coaster ride because of the fact that we'll be discussing New Year resolutions today.
And it's great how, as we're nearing the New Year's, the
Yeah.
31st of December, every day we're talking about New Year resolutions,
Yeah.
which is great. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's a Friday, beautiful morning outside, and we're headed into a weekend, which is not actually a weekend for us.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're always excited about the weekend, the
Exactly.
vibe that it brings.
But now, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted this show to be different, and it's
Okay.
because of the fact that, half of the time we are actually asking people about, what are you going to do in 2019 and things like that. But now what I wanted to do today was that I actually wanted to ask all of our guests and then ourselves as well that, so since childhood, there have been so many different things which you wanted to. For example, somebody will come up or uncle or auntie will meet you and they'll be like, oh, son, you're growing up. What do you want to do when you're going to grow up? So this question has been a regular in everybody's life. So I was just telling Shiza that, when I was young, I always wanted to be an Air Force pilot.
Okay.
I had a passion for it and I was crazy about it. But I couldn't get into the academy because I actually appeared in the test and failed all 4 exams. So, yeah. So, unfortunately, or fortunately, I think, because now I am the pilot of the show. So it makes me feel great. What about you?
But
what did
fate
you
had
thought?
something else in store for you, right?
Yeah.
So you're brilliant, you've reached this. When you're talking about being a pilot, I wanted to be a pilot, but then when I realized you have to study a lot of physics, for that, I was done with my dream. So then I wanted to be a journalist, as I
Okay.
always mentioned.
Yeah.
And I can't say I'm halfway there, but I think I've started somehow.
Yeah.
So let's see where this
So
goes.
eventually, when I started to grow up, people started asking me the same question. I was bored of the question. I just simply used to answer them. I just want to be a father when I grow up. So, things like these, ladies and gentlemen, do matter in life. We
Yeah.
might not even pay heed to things like these. But I think for somebody who's actually got a vision since childhood, my younger brother used to tell me that I'm going to be an actuarial science graduate from Oxford. That's something which he did. So I think we definitely lacked the vision back then. But
That's
other than that,
true.
we are actually going to ask our guests whether they're happy with their lives or not. And if they're not, what are they going to do to change it for 2019 and the years to come? So on my right-hand side, ladies and gentlemen, we've actually been joined by one of the very celebrated musicians of the Pakistan industry. And yes, he's none other than Mr. Junaid Sami. Hello, assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
Thank you very much
Absolutely.
for joining us. It's good to have you,
My
and that too,
pleasure.
especially when it's going to be the last weekend starting from tomorrow night
Yes.
That's right.
of
that's
this
right,
year.
That's right.
So thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, thank you.
And alongside Mr. Junaid, ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by somebody who actually have got the experience of traveling all over the world,
Wow.
living in Dubai, but then she eventually noticed that, because a lot of people are asking her about, clothing and jewelry and whatnot, so she decided to become a jeweler. And she's
Wow.
one of the very amazing designers and jewelry designer over here as well in Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen. She's been working all over the globe. Probably have lived in Dubai for 7 years. She's none other than Ms. Zahra Miliani. Hello, assalamu alaikum, chala, dadu sitwa. How are you?
I'm good.
Thank you very much for joining us. It's
Thank you
wonderful
for
to
giving
have
me the
you.
opportunity.
Thank you
Our
very much.
pleasure.
And last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, so I think, there are those people in life too as well whom you meet and then you like, they're way ahead of their time.
Yeah.
So this gentleman is definitely one of those people as well because what he actually managed to achieve in these 9 years, in the past 9 years, and he's been a regular, he's been writing books and as well, and then, somebody who's so young and looking after a security company. It's not that easy
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
But other than that, now there's this other side to this gentleman as well, where he's always out there for everybody. He's
Okay.
telling people, think like this, think probably, you should actually incorporate strategical analysis within your thought process, critical thinking, all of these things. A wonderful human being, and he actually ventured into a very new project as well, which is Tangent. And it's an actually economic think tank. So for all those people who want to make big money, I mean, he's your guy. And these are the type of people where actually started my introduction. These are the type of people who might think that going into 2019, I just want to take a break, so, because they've worked so hard.
Yeah.
So ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by Mr. Fahim Sardar, who's the marketing director for Tangent. Hello, assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Fine, thank you, Ji. How are you?
Absolutely well. Thank you very much for joining us. And now the best part, ladies and gentlemen, that all three of them actually happen to know each other too. So before we started the show, there was a lot of chaos going on, but certainly, camera has its own pressure. So that's what we've done. But Junaid bhai, I think I'm going to get started with you over here today.
Sure, Ji.
So, okay, one question which people ask you, okay, what do you want to do when you grow up? Obviously, you never thought of becoming a musician back then, or you did?
I'm finally running after my dream and trying to pursue it. I did always want to sing. 9 years old, I was singing, but we went here and there, but finally I'm back. So
Wow.
Inshallah, fingers crossed.
I think
So
that's
this
great.
was your childhood dream,
Yeah,
to become a musician?
I used to sing. We used to have a band actually. I was the lead singer. I was 9 years old.
Oh,
We used to sing
wow.
Elvis Presley songs.
Wow.
Yeah,
brilliant.
back to 1980s. Yeah.
Wow.
Finally, I'm
Back in
Chasing the
1980s,
dream
Yeah,
again?
yeah.
Wow.
in the late 1980s, I was born, ladies and gentlemen, and I think Elvis Presley I've only heard
70s.
like twice or thrice, because I just can't get the hold of it. But this is a very common question. People will come up to you, beta, what do you want to be
Yeah,
in
yeah.
life? So
Yeah.
what do you used to tell them?
Well, singing is my late father used to sing for Irfan and singing.
Singing always, and you
Music.
always told everybody I want to be a singer.
Ji,
So
but-
then the next question was, अच्छा बेटा ये तो करोगे, उसके साथ क्या करोगे?
MBA kiya. I wasted my time doing that, but I had to do it.
Very nice, amazing. Let's move on to Ms. Zara. So the same questions for you too as well. So go ahead, please shoot.
Okay. Well, I always wanted to become a lawyer.
Okay.
So that is something I have decided I'm going to pursue it now. Very soon.
Okay. Wow.
Okay. I'm a very happy-go-lucky person. I always say life is too short, you will never get this day again.
Exactly.
So my New Year resolution is going to be again, as I always say, work hard, party harder. And never lose a day.
I love it.
Because your days will be so good, kal ka pata nahi kal hai ki nahi.
Exactly,
That's
exactly.
it.
But
So-
the same question when people used to ask you, what do you want to be? And children, what happens with them is that they cannot stick to one idea. So if you
No,
say,
I
if
don't
you
know,
said
growing
lawyer
up,
to
I
one
always wanted to
uncle,
become a lawyer.
Okay.
And apparently my dad needed me, so I joined the family business and I had to do all that. But, I didn't get time. I did fashion and jewelry because I was doing that for a lot of friends across
Yeah.
the border. And I felt so proud. You say when you're living abroad, you're very patriotic. So you
Yeah.
wanted to display everything, Pakistan culture and all that. And then we have a lot of scope in our industry, for fashion and jewelry. There's no barrier over there. And we are very blessed to have everything here. People abroad don't have those technicians, those skilled labor,
Exactly.
unskilled labor, all those people there. So I love doing that, but at the same time, lawyer banne ka bahut shauk hai. I think,
And you're still
everybody
at
says
it.
I have the instincts of a lawyer
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
I'm good
yeah.
in harassing.
Yes.
I'm very good in getting to the point.
And we're here telling you again that you must pursue your dream.
Okay.
yeah, exactly. It's never too late. So, and I think this is the right moment to move on to Mr. Fahim Sardar. Let's do this. So, what was the question asked you, by all of those uncles and aunts coming in while you were growing up? And then, what did you think of it? And then, did you pursue whatever you wanted to pursue, or you went into a different category?
I did pursue what I wanted to pursue, and what I wanted to do was to rise and to make changes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Simple. So it's not that simple when you start doing it because it's extremely difficult. You have to go against the grain. You have to do new things. And when you start creating something, that's when you really realize what you are,
Yeah.
what you were meant for. Because as our friends have just said, that you see, they wanted to do something in their lives. And it's important for us to understand that we all have certain talents in our lives, and they have to be honed, they have to be chiseled, they have to be polished, and then they have to be brought up. Because the best chess players on earth, they started as kids. The best guitarists started as kids. So
The best host, started as a kid.
Yeah, yeah, without doubt. So at the end of the day, what anybody wants to do, you have to be very clear. We had this discussion with, I think, a year ago or something. You just have to be a little more careful about what you need and what you want.
Yeah.
You just have to distinguish the
Exactly, but one way or the other, I think we get confused in the middle somewhere because
Yes,
of
we do.
Human nature.
because of the reasons family poses at you and whatnot, and which is why I think I'm going to share my example. I'm sorry that I have to be a parrot today, but it's all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, ever since my childhood, I think the first film I actually saw on television was from a keyhole, and it was because of the fact that I was never allowed to. We brothers and sisters were never allowed to watch a film.
Or stay up late, right?
Yep. Staying up late was out of the league. So my younger brother actually happened to be in the room with my mom and dad and my khala and khalu.
Okay.
So they were watching this Sanjay Dutt ki film, which was released at that point of time as well. And I watched the entire film through the whole. And since then, I always wanted to be on television. I
Oh,
don't know why.
wow.
So I don't know how I've become what I wanted to be, but I think back then I never had a realization that that the process, because in television or in media there's no destiny, it's always the process. You do one bigger project and then for the next year you might not even get a chance to do another one, and you pray for another one as well. So it's always a process, and it became a celebration of my life too as well.
Wow.
But what about you? So you wanted to be a journalist, but eventually you're doing a morning show.
Oh, yes. So right after I graduated with my journalism degree, I started doing news anchoring over here. And it was not late after that. I don't know how to say that. So it wasn't very late after that.
After a bachelor's.
Yeah, after my bachelor's,
Yeah.
of course. There's someone asked me for this show. And I thought it's going to be a good change. It's going to be interesting. So why not?
Yeah.
So I think it is a good change, which
Yeah,
is
thank you
brilliant.
very
But then
much.
again, when we're talking about New Year and resolutions and whatnot, this is one thing very funny. So when this year started, of course, I was doing news anchoring and everything.
Yeah.
So I knew I had certain goals which I had to achieve
Yeah.
professionally, career-wise. Few months down the lane, I was sort of, getting into something different, which was not my career. It was marriage, by the way, you guys. And then I thought, what, marriage can wait, and I need to work on the goals that I've already set.
Yeah.
So that is what I'm doing.
Wow, that's great and brilliant.
I hope
it is.
my
I
mom
don't
didn't
know
hear
what your
that.
family has to say about it, but it's all right. But now moving on to Junaid Bhai over. So Junaid Bhai, you officially released your third single.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, and are we going to get a chance to listen to that one?
Sure.
All right,
Please,
because I
wow.
think ये माहौल ऐसा बन गया. फिर उसके बाद, we are going to ask about New Year resolutions, what people want to do.
Sure.
So let's do this. Let us know a little about your song too as well, who composed it, arrangements and everything.
Dil Tanha Awara.
दिल तन्हा हुआ.
Yeah,
ऐसे ही था
composed
बेचारा.
That's right. Composed by Nuriz Munir, and my brother has done the music.
And for all those people who might not even get it, so he's the younger brother of Mr. Adnan Sami Khan as well.
It's on YouTube and just
It's everywhere.
type James Kami Khan.
So let's do this. Can we please play his track? Let's do it.
Sure.
Are you ready? All
Yeah,
pumped up?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Should I stand or that's fine?
No,
Let us
yeah,
get the
just
audio
fine.
first.
That's it.
दिल तन्हा आवारा यादों में बेचारा ये रह न पाएगा ढूंढे तेरा सहारा दिल तन्हा आवारा यादों में बेचारा ये रह न पाएगा ढूंढे तेरा सहारा दिल तन्हा आवारा यादों में बेचारा कैसे भूलूं वो यादें वो बातें तेरी वो भीगी बरसातें वो रातें तेरी कैसे भूलूं वो यादें वो बातें तेरी वो भीगी बरसातें वो रातें तेरी वो तेरा जाना और आके ना जाना ढूंढे हैं आज भी नदियाँ का वो किनारा दिल तन्हा आवारा यादों में बेचारा तन्हा रास्तों पे चलना कितना मुश्किल है जिन रास्तों पे चले थे एक साथ जाना दिल ने तुझको ही माना ओ जाने जाना ये दिल तेरा दीवाना ये मैंने माना अब रह ना पाऊँ मैं तुझको ही चाहूँ मैं अब लौट आओ ना होता नहीं गुजारा दिल तन्हा आवारा यादों में बेचारा ये रह न पाएगा ढूंढे तेरा सहारा दिल तन्हा आवारा यादों में बेचारा ये रह न पाएगा ढूंढे तेरा सहारा दिल तन्हा आवारा यादों में बेचारा
Wow.
Very nice.
Love it.
this song.
Absolutely. This is brilliant.
Thank you.
Very nice. Which is why I'm sorry, but I don't know, and I think I need to ask you this question because he said "Dil tanha awara aa jao nahi hoga guzara." So, किसको बुला रहे हैं आप?
There was somebody. Zara knows, and 10 years of investment went down the drain, but so what?
Okay, so what? Yeah. So this is what we were talking about. You
That's
know,
right.
this is what we were talking about on 28th of December.
Right.
We're here in
New
Islamabad.
Year, ji, ji.
In 2018,
Right,
last
right.
weekend is about to get started.
Right,
Dil
right.
Tanha Awara is
Ji,
out. Do you
ji.
want your Dil to be Tanha and Awara in
I-
2019?
As you say,
We hope not.
oh, I hope not, but destiny, you can fight destiny, jo bhi kismet mein hoga.
You'll get
like
that.
you, I do absolutely believe in destiny, and inshallah,
Right.
God willing, there'll be happy ending, and they can.
but you know, we're supposed to ask questions. So let us give us the freedom to ask questions.
Certainly.
So do you plan to get married in 2019?
No. I'm 45. I'd love to actually. I'll get married tomorrow, but as you said, you know, I just want to pursue my dream, and inshallah, in the end, sab kuch hoga. You will come to my wedding, inshallah.
Inshallah.
God
of course.
willing. Hoega ठीक है.
So
I've not given up.
I think next year we're going to have a song इसी तरह के एक weekend के ऊपर where we'll be like एक बच्चा आ गया दोबारा. You know, this is how life moves on as well. So Ms. Zara, what about you? How's life going to move for you? Do you plan to get married in 2019?
Well, you know, again, destiny, you don't know
Yeah.
when it's written. But it's open for me, I mean, you know, but I just say, I just need a person who can pull along.
Yeah.
Because I see a lot of people, I see friends, people getting married, and then the marriages fall apart.
Yeah.
Because
they
they're
have nothing in
settling
common.
now.
So
Settling with a-
for me, you know, I'm not one of those girls who's always had a dream to get married.
Yeah.
For me,
Same.
life was a lot more to achieve than you know just get married.
So
because
what kind of a guy are you looking for? I mean, I'm
somebody
sorry, I
जो
know.
मुझे
it's-
बर्दाश्त कर लेगा.
Put it out there
Right?
because
And who
it's
brings out the best in me, who's like a
Wow.
friend more than than a husband.
Yeah.
Because here men just become typical husbands.
No, so
You know?
you're not going to fall for looks? I mean,
वो
don't,
शक्ल
come
तो
on.
अच्छी होनी चाहिए ना. और क्या फायदा तो second day क्योंकि फारिग हो जाओ.
Yeah, so that's what we're saying, you know, let's talk in detail. I mean, how tall do you think
Well,
he should be?
you know, every girl has an idol after her father. My father was like very well dressed, very well spoken. So of course I would want the guy to be a complete package, you know.
Yeah.
at least fit in that
Fit
frame.
in that field, you know. So find that, and then he should have braids, and he should be a little modern, मतलब not a conservative guy.
Yeah.
बस घर बैठ जाओ और यही करो बस. You know, don't go out.
So do you want him to be quiet or do you want him to be like
You know, I would
the
love him
type
to
A
be
kind of person?
At least I'm honest.
I think that's great, and we wish you luck for that too as well. But
Thank you.
let's move on to Mr. Fame of it. Now, Mr. Fame, I think that you're the most perfect guy to ask this question. That even before that we have discussed our New Year resolutions, there's one thing which I want to ask, and that is that we every time we make our resolutions, we write them down, we put them in our phone, on our calendar, they're everywhere right in front of them. But I don't know, eventually, for me, after 15 or 20 days, the passion phases out. And then I'm back to being the Shahzad I was in 2018, 17, and 16, and respectively. So why do we fail to achieve?
Because we don't want to.
Okay.
Simple. Because we don't want to. It's not something that's that important. Every person that has succeeded in life, there's a thing called hard work.
Yeah.
Running after your passion does not mean just running like a wild goose here and there.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm strictly against that. I believe one should always do what one has a talent in, but one has to, in my opinion, it's worked for me. One has to be very clear about what you're pursuing.
Okay.
And why. Now, if you say that maybe after 15 days you've lost interest in your thing, then maybe I should write your resolutions this time. Okay.
Yeah.
And that'll be after a careful study of what needs to be done, because unfortunately, I know this sounds extremely dry in this light atmosphere, but truth, it's part of reality. You have to bring in a lot of strategy into your life. And we Pakistanis, we just live by emotions, which is something I just absolutely have started to become allergic to. Okay.
Yeah.
If you look at good architecture, it is music frozen in history. I think Goethe said that. If you look at good art, there's a lot of hard work behind it. There's a lot of hard work behind good music, and you see, we leave out the hard work and we focus on our emotions.
Yeah.
Emotions come and go.
Or probably we think more about the benefits.
Yes,
Before even
because you
putting in
see,
the hard work.
because you see, we always look at the last good thing, because that's a big, it's a red herring. It misleads us. When, for example, I've done this so many times, because in Tangent I'm basically branding people as well. I'm branding companies.
Okay.
You ask a person, I'll give you an example. If you ask a person what's important to you, and don't think, and the first things that come to off their tongue,
Yeah.
is basically, it's like it's this huge material for me, because I understand immediately how their mind is thinking, and where the gaps are, and what needs to be sort of filled up, and what needs to be increased, and what needs to be decreased.
Right.
Now, I know this sounds terribly dry, but
Well, it's all right, at times people can't help it.
But that's the way I am.
Yeah.
That's the way I am. Have to be clinical. Have to. You want to achieve something. You want your New Year resolutions to. By the way, I don't have New Year resolutions.
Okay.
Okay.
They're the same that I had as a kid. Just keep building something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep building something.
Okay.
Do something new.
We actually belong to a herd of sheep, so this is something which you have to give a space for. This is why, we are having this conversation. And the sole reason that I posed this question to you was that you can justify it, because I've seen you over the years that you haven't actually changed your direction, but you've added on to it.
There are two things in life, Shahzad,
Sure.
And the tangent basically works on those fronts, vector and thrust.
Yeah.
You just have to focus on a direction, and you have to have some kind of force behind that direction. Now, people who created things, we look at their product. We don't look at the hard work. We don't look at the times they didn't sleep, times they had difficulty, but they kept going. My shout out, I guess, right now to everybody would be, make a plan, but make sure that you stick to it.
Yeah.
Make sure that it's something that you need first, want afterwards. Because what I'm seeing right now is people are running after things that are unfortunately permeating into their minds because of this media which is on steroids.
Yeah.
And this media doesn't know exactly where it's going.
Right.
I've written a book
Don't say
about
that.
this.
I mean, we know what we talk about.
I'm being very generic here.
Yeah, thank you for that.
I mean, I've written a book about it, but if you recall, we discussed mind conquest. What I'm trying to say here is very simply that if people have some kind of plans for the new year, that's fantastic. Just run through those plans.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you need to do is step one, ask yourself, is this what I want or is this what I need?
Okay.
And once you have sort of established the difference, then start to look at what really needs to be done. Because once you start focusing on your needs, suddenly you realize you don't have time for wants.
Yes.
Right.
And that's how you save time. That's how you accelerate your thrust in life.
Time
And
or even space for wants in your life, right?
Absolutely, because you see, right now what we're doing is, I was working 9 to 5, then I was writing books, I was doing charity, I was doing TV shows, and people would say, Fahim, how do you have so much time to do this?
Yeah.
My answer is, why do you not have time?
Right.
Because you've got, it's just, we're just moving here and there. There's no vector, there's no direction. If you have a direction, clinically you have to follow it up. After 1 year, look back, 80% of the stuff I should be doing which I need, 20% of the stuff that's for fun.
Exactly.
Okay? I'm sorry, I gave a disclaimer at the beginning. It's going to be very dry from my side. Okay? And
We're good with
to
it.
make it more dry, to make it more dry,
Sure.
the things that we sort of decide to do in life should be broken up into at least 3 portions. One is economic, one is personal, and one is structural.
Okay.
Is there a hierarchy though?
Yes, there is actually.
How?
Because one has to move with a structure. We are totally unstructured. We don't believe in structure. We
That's
think
right.
because we're not takhayyul azad karo apna, theek hai? We're a little too free in our minds. We need to be more structured because the birthday of our dear Qaid was a couple of days ago, and he did say faith, unity, and discipline. You can have lots of fun even with discipline. That's
So I think this can be one New Year resolution for me to actually be
95
more
discipline.
disciplined. Yeah.
Or be more
95
calculated in
discipline
things,
after
right?
but let me
You
move
want
on,
to
Junaid Sahab. So now, since we're only left with like last 10, 15 minutes, so I want you to let us know about your New Year resolutions.
I made it last night and I broke it within 5 hours. And that was, I'm sorry I'm saying, but I'll be honest with you, it's to lose weight. I have a match in April. I also play squash since 1986. Anyways, to lose weight.
Okay.
It's been 10 years.
Okay.
So even I got the gastric bypass done and I made it halfway. But
Okay.
it's not magic. You still have to leave
Right.
sugar
It's a
and all.
long journey sometimes.
Yeah, you have to leave sugar. So I hope I can become lighter.
Yeah, you will. But what makes you think that? Why do you think that you have not been able to achieve in the past decade, and you still broke it?
Actually, again, that girl came along. We would party too much, and someone else came 18 years ago. I lost weight for her.
Okay.
But this girl, I gained weight. They're two opposites.
Can I suggest something?
Sure.
Do it for yourself this time.
That's like boring. Do it for somebody that. But
I mean,
I know what you mean.
he's one of those guys who's actually running an economic think tank. We are those people who are actually running after hearts. Dil tanha awara.
New Year resolution, I have to make Fahim party this year.
I think he
past
needs that.
midnight, 2 a.m.
Yeah. Okay. So this is one. This is one. Okay,
lose
that you
weight.
want to lose weight.
Yeah.
Other ones.
Other ones eventually get married like 12 years from now.
Wow.
After achieving my dream. And which is, I'll tell you, I'm on a sort of mission impossible, but inshallah,
But what kind of a woman do you want?
I know the same one who
same
I've
one.
been with for the last 10 years, but it'll have to wait. It'll have to wait, yeah. I believe she's my soulmate opposite.
Yeah.
Yin yang, you know, if you know Chinese philosophy, yin yang, we are opposites.
Yeah, which is
Okay.
which
black,
is why
white, black.
Which is why I'm going to give you an opportunity over here. So, your brother sang this song, Thodi Si To Lift Kara
Lift
De.
kara de, exactly.
So if you can sing it for us,
Sure,
for all of us, I
sure.
think that'll be great. So,
Sure.
ladies and gentlemen, this is Thodi Si To Lift Kara De from Mr. Junaid to who he wants her to be his
Special
future wife.
dedications.
Yeah.
Special lady.
I won't
Special
name her.
lady,
I
okay.
won't name her.
That's how you saved her number in your cell phone? Special lady. Trin, trin.
So, sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So, should I sing?
Okay, let's play the music.
तेरी ऊंची शान है मौला, मेरी अर्जी मान मौला।
Very nice. Fabulous, Rahman.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was
Such-
Thori Silik Krade from Mr. Junaid Sami for his special lady. Let's see whether
And such a modest request, एक
whether
नहीं, दो
she's
चार
considered
करो.
of it or not.
We get 5 actually.
Yeah, but with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go out for a short break because the special lady, I think, is calling Mr. Junaid over here. So anyway, we'll be right back after taking the call.
Stay
Good morning.
tuned.
Of moonless nights. When handed a night bereft of its glittering pendant, I decided to grow my own moon. So the spirit is no more hostage to the hide and seek of a wandering celestial being. That is but a deceptive glimmer of hope, a mirage that lures the wayfarer to lose his way and embark upon a quest for the elusive. I stole the glow from selfless souls, added the void within my being as dark spots, rolled into a concoction.
The nights are never moonless. There is no longing. There is no parting.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Well this morning on a beautiful Friday morning with Shahzad Khan and Shaza Hashmi. And we are sort of wrapping up the last weekend of 2018. And we're talking about how 2018 went and how 2019 is going to be for so many people over
Exactly. So I think Mr. Junaid over here has answered most of the questions, but now we're going to move on to Ms. Zara over here. So your New Year resolutions.
here. And are they any different, though, from the previous ones?
Well, a little bit different.
Okay.
Also, I always say satisfaction is death, you know.
Yeah.
So you can never be say that 100% आपने achieve कर लिया. You always want to get higher on the climb.
Yeah.
Professionally, I'm very happy. Of course, still doing a lot. Like I've expanded my work and what I wanted to achieve, I'm on that payment. So I'm happy that way, contented. As I told you, I wanted to become a lawyer. That's something which I'm pursuing, and I want to do that my next year.
Wow.
That's something on. So let's hope. You know, we have a plan, and God has a plan. So I
Yeah.
just
That's
hope
true.
that it's
I hope
better
they're
for
the
me.
same.
And somewhere down the lane, you get to know, no, this is not meant for you, because they're getting signals that no, God doesn't want you to do that, and what you're doing is fine.
Exactly.
So that's about it. My mother always wanted me to become a lawyer because it's a
Yeah.
family of lawyers. So
Oh.
I thought, let's go for it. And I want to do a criminal law, not just a
Okay.
corporate law.
Okay.
Interesting.
I
Which
think
is
that's
very
it.
interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, and what are those things which you want to leave behind in 2018 and a few things which you want to take along with you in
Leave
2019?
behind. Good question. Nothing. Sometimes I think the only thing you always want to become a better human being. You learn from your mistakes.
You need to
so
keep
of course
growing.
you want to bring your mistakes to an end and try to say go on life. But then I've seen good, bad. I've seen a lot of. Life is not a bed of roses. Of course, like as Fahim said, you have to work for it. But then again, you see, with all that stress, you have to keep yourself positive and enjoy. And एक वक्त तक काम करेंगे. उसके बाद आपको you need to relax and unwind and do that. I started gymming because I also said like Junaid, I need to lose weight.
Okay.
You know when you go out to the movie, you see those figure zeros and those signs.
Let me
in it.
tell you, please,
you
they're
can't
all
be one.
airbrushed and Photoshop. Do not get into any sort
Yeah.
of, you know, dilemma. Of
But I
losing
eat
weight.
everything. I live to eat, so I love
Very
food.
nice.
So I said, you eat, but exercise, so you know you don't gain those extra
Right,
calories.
right.
So
Great.
I don't want to starve on the good food. You know,
Exactly right.
God has made all
It's
that.
made for you.
should-
Eat
yeah, enjoy it. So.
Fahim Saab, so you obviously do not have any New Year resolutions,
No, but
how
you're
would you,
smiling. But why are you smiling at your
but
resolution?
how would you want to wrap it up?
He knows me too well.
So how do you want to wrap it up?
Basically, I think once again, just a shout out to everybody is to reduce the noise in your life, stay focused, stay centered, do something that's constructive, and try to build something and stick to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Junaid bhai, what about you?
Same thing, as you said, stay focused and pray to God. And as Zara said, God has a better plan. We can only try. Inshallah, वही होगा जो मंजूर खुदा.
Exactly.
Exactly, yeah.
Thank you very much for being with us. It was lovely to have you, and we definitely wish you best of luck for your future endeavors and whatever you want to achieve with your New Year resolutions. May Allah Ji be with you guys as well. Thank you very much once again. But before wrapping it up, Shiza, what about you? What do you want to do in 2019?
I think we've been talking about this for so long now, for at least quite a week now.
Great. I'm going to instill it in your brain.
Okay, I think one thing, as I keep reiterating, I need to do in 2019, control my anger issues. And other than that, probably work better in terms of my studies, in terms of my career, and try to be nice to everyone around me.
Exactly, that's great. But
That is something that is achievable and doable and that I need in my life. So I feel like, you know,
exactly,
these are the
that's
ones I
great.
should
But
focus
before
on.
wrapping it up, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to second Mr. Fahim Sardar over here that we, you know, what we do is we make a plan. We do not break it down into smaller plans or shorter goals as well, which is why we tend to fail. And I think people who actually realize what they want to achieve in their life, it's not a matter of time or years for them. What they do is they put their head down until the time they're there, they do not pick it up. So I think this is one simple solution. If you can go by it, very nice. If you won't, well, you're going to stay back in 2018.
And always remember, Allah is the best of planners.
Exactly, indeed. So, saath dua karte rahe. I think this is what I spoke about yesterday as well. So, because prayer has the magic to actually get you whatever you want to achieve. Because Allah is the only one who's actually going to give you or bestow His blessings upon you. So please make sure that you write to us on our Facebook page, which is with the name
Well
of
this morning.
on Twitter,
Well this morning without a G.
on Daily Motion and YouTube.
Well this morning.
And this amazing repeat is going to be at
5 past 11 p.m.
till the next time. 1, 2, 3.
Good
Good morning.
morning.
Thank you very much.